Mhm. When it is the abuser who is charged with assault or homicide, as in you killed somebody, right, or you actually hurt somebody, you physically hurt them, yeah. The courts have not been receptive to the evidence of the battered woman syndrome. The evidence is not admissible to corroborate the victim's allegation of abuse because the expert would simply be stating an opinion on the ultimate issue of the defendant's guilt and would thus invade the province of the jury. State versus Black, State versus Grant. Now, the court upheld the admissibility of evidence of past acts of domestic violence perpetrated by the defendant against the victim and expert testimony intended to explain the victim's conduct. Specifically, the expert was permitted to give an opinion as to why the victim continued to see the defendant even after a no-contact order had been issued and why she minimized the extent of the violence in conversations with defense counsel. As the court stated, the jury was entitled to evaluate the victim's credibility with full knowledge of the dynamics of the relationship marked by domestic violence and the effects of such a relationship has on the victim. Grant at 108 Accord, State versus Madison. Expert testimony admissible to explain why abused children may be reluctant to testify. Now, this concept of the battered women syndrome and how the state of Washington says, no, we're going to let the jury decide. Ouch. Let's say I was in a jury trial, and I said, well, let's admit some evidence. Okay. My wife has intentionally kept my sons 2 grades behind where they should be, yes, for 7.5 years because you decided. I think that is maltreatment of children, neglect, abuse. You decided to issue a protection order in 2011 where she wasn't a resident, yes, because she made up a story on Guam. Well, you decided to reissue it in May 31st of 2012, a week after she filed for dissolution of marriage. You decided that she could file for default dissolution of marriage when you had the knowledge that I had responded in 90 days. You decided. Now, why has the jury not provided the evidence necessary to evaluate the petitioner's credibility with the full knowledge of dynamics? Well, you never gave me a jury trial when you arrested me. You said I was mentally ill or mentally incompetent. Isn't that right, Judge Porter? When I asked you to admit the evidence I wasn't in Sequim, Washington, you wouldn't admit the evidence. You wouldn't give me a jury trial. And you never questioned the credibility of the battered woman. Now, I'm on trial. In fact, what time is it? Oh my gosh. I know that I have to appear. It's 7:15. Oh, shoot. I missed the bus. Oh, I'm not going to court today. I'm probably getting a failure to appear. You're probably going to have me arrested again. Wait a second. Was I acting crazy to say that I was going to court when I did believe the public defender yesterday in the study room? Now I have a whole new set of circumstances. I'm going to have to respond to the phone calls and let's look at the calendar, shan't we? Yes. Because it seems that in the state of Washington, you will not allow for the accused to question the credibility of the petitioner for protection orders. You will not allow me, as the father of 5 sons, to question the credibility of a teacher in Brennan, Washington. You won't admit any evidence. You would rather look at the physical appearance and say, no, he's homeless and he's crazy. Now, as I see it, I'm to appear in court on the 9th at 2 p.m. Yeah. The problem is getting the bus from Port Townsend to Port Sequim. Yes. The 9th doesn't work for me when it's in the afternoon because on Wednesdays I go to dinner at the Lutheran Church. I won't be able to have a meal. I think I'm going to have to call the public defender back. I have a doctor's appointment on the 7th. Yes. And I think I'm going to have a sleep study, and I might have to go to Seattle next week. Yes. because I was talking to a woman yesterday at a charity where I got the bus pass. She herself has sleep apnea, and she had to loan her CPAP machine from a sleep study that she had participated in because she hadn't been able to.